Alright, here's what's up today with the speedometer. As you can see, case cleaned up pretty damn good. Everything seems to be decent in here. I don't see any real major issues. I've lubed everything. I'm soaking it, making sure everything's free. The only issue I had is that it did manage to bust off both of the studs on the back plate. I worked them carefully back and forth, and they still just snapped off. So I'm going to have to get those removed and then put a couple of bolts through and double nut them. But it's no big deal. As you can see, like I said, it's, let's see what this looks like. It cleaned up pretty damn good. So once I get all the internals back in there, get it reassembled, it should look not new, but good for what it is, as old as it is. My speedometer, as you can see, never sat in the water like the TAC did, so that's what I had hoped to find. It's what it looked like from the outside. It's nice to know I was correct. So there we are. Everything's just soaking, and I'll do some more cleaning and rubbing, and I got rid of all the rust stains, or most of them, on the reflector inside, so whenever I get around to putting lights in these gauges, they should function correctly. The trip odometer works good. Now, when I first opened this up, the speedo itself here, this outer drum, is frozen. So you can see it's still pretty tight. But I do have it moving now, and it's freeing up a lot. I'm going to let that soak, and I'll keep oiling it over the next day or two and working it back and forth. It's got all these extra worm gears to run the odometer and trip odometer, so it's going to take a little longer. As you can see, it did have some corrosion out here. I think that's where it was stuck. This part up in here seems clean and fresh, but this down here, I believe, is where it seized up. So like I say, I've got all that broken loose now, and I'm working it back and forth, and I'll continue to do so until it feels free enough to risk putting it back together. Because now, the way these come apart, you cut this ridge off of the back side here, and that's what holds this plate in place. So when I put this back together, I'm going to have to use some glue around the edges to keep this all intact. In other words, it's going to be slightly a pain in the ass to take it back apart again if something drips in there or if it doesn't work or whatever. So I'm going to take my time and clean that up as best I can. It should work, I think, at least function close enough, to be legal. That's really all I need. But there we are. More good news on the instrument front. Now again, you got to remember, I paid display-only prices for these. I knew what kind of shape they were in, so the fact they're cleaning up this well is just an excellent bonus. I hoped they would, but I wasn't sure. These are like less than a fifth of the price of one gauge by itself in functioning tested condition. They wanted like $149 and $189 for the TAC and the speedo, so this is the only way I can go. So far, it's working out good, though. And Rhonda's pestering the shit out of me to play ball.